¿Qué tal amigos? Les habla Fabián Esteban Beltrán. Estamos hoy en una entrevista muy especial acá en Metal Live Colombia, un espacio dirigido por Sergio Zuluaga y Janine Verano. Estamos a puertas de una nueva edición de Rock al Parque y hoy tengo el gran placer, el gran honor de presentar en este espacio a Keaton from the almighty Hirax. Hi Keaton, how
Hello.
are you, man?
I'm good, man. Just here in Los Angeles, getting ready to come to Colombia. Very excited. We've got some very special surprises for the Colombian audiences in Bogota, on Saturday. So we're just getting ready to go and really excited.
You can feel it in the air, man. When Hirax was announced to Rocker Parque, something that I was really impressed about was all the comments and the photographs that people were sharing and very enthusiastic about the Hirax um, uh, show in Rocker Parque. But most of all that photographs and comments were about that first show back in like 2008, maybe.
Yeah,
That first,
I think you're
yeah,
right. It's
that
been
first,
it's
that
been a
first, almost 20 years ago, man. But I had the impression that it made a big impact on the underground scene here in Bogota. People still remembers that first hideout show here. So, do you have any memories from that show?
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget it. And very special. I mean, that's one of the reasons we kept coming back to Colombia after that first show. I'll never forget it. There's still photos from 2008 that I still look at from Bogota, the first time we came there, and we made a lot of friends. I mean, obviously people like to call them fans, but I consider them friends, and they're like family to us. So, I mean, Bogota, or I should say Colombia in general, we've been there more than any other place except for Mexico. I mean, we've been to Mexico; it's close to where we live. But for South America, we've been to Colombia the most times, and we have a lot of great memories of traveling to other parts of Colombia as well. We've been all over it. So, yeah, the first time was special, really crazy, really loud. I mean, it was even hard for us when we got to the venue to get inside because there were so many people in the club that it was hard to get in. And then once we got inside and we were able to play, it was packed, full of sweaty thrash metal maniacs. It was great, and the whole show, they were from the beginning, from the first song to the end. It was just crazy, and that's really the way we like the audiences, anyways. For us, the crazier the audience gets, the crazier we get. That we feed off of the energy. So, like this Saturday, if they're giving us a lot of energy, that's only going to make us go crazier more than we normally do. So, Colombia is a very special place. I'm not just saying that. When we travel to other parts of the world and people ask us about some of the best audiences we've ever played in front of, we always bring up Colombia.
You made us immortal in an audio clip from that album 1 year later from that first show, El Rostro de la Muerte. I love that album, man. I
Thank
would say
you.
it's my favorite Hirax album ever.
Thank you.
Mm, is that the reason why you get closer to Spanish language, maybe to connect in a straight way to American Latin American audience?
Yeah, I mean, also because we live so close to the border here in California, but it's definitely Colombia had a bit to do with that, and it's important for us to always connect with audiences when we go to other countries. But Espanol is something I'm still working on. I'm trying to get better at Spanish all the time because it's not my first language, but it's a beautiful language, and it's important for me to get better at it every time we come back. The best thing for me though has been going to places like Colombia because if you hear it more, it's easier to learn it. Being around it is better than any book. Like you can read books, you can go online, but if you're around Spanish and you get to hear it more and see how people speak and how they use their hands and their facial expressions, it really helps to learn Spanish that way. So even coming back on this trip, I'm sure I'm going to learn a few more words. Even what's kind of crazy, we're getting a lot of messages right now from Colombia. So people are sending us certain sayings, things that they say like Pogata, just different things that mean a lot in that region. So it's cool to learn, man. And I love culture. That's really what Hyrax is all about. We have three Latinos in our band. We're all about culture and learning from each other. So this is a very special show coming up, and we know that.
Yeah, talking about the new lineup, it's been for times like this. It's hard to keep a lineup together, and that's the case. I think for hires too. How do you define this moment of hires in terms of the lineup?
Well, like you said, it is hard also because just survival as a band, doing music, and especially in the times that we're living in right now. Uh, Obviously, for anybody who watches the news, there's a lot going on here right now in Los Angeles. But we're also very proud people, just like the people of Colombia. We will keep fighting for things that we believe in. So, the guys that I have right now, they're great people. I'm lucky to have them in the band. Jose Gonzalez, Alan Chan, and Matthew Morales.
Well,
These are local Los Angeles musicians that I got to meet over the years, and now we're playing together, and it's a very strong lineup. Probably one of the strongest lineups in the history of the band. So but like I said, we're fighters. We fight for what we believe in. We believe in thrash metal. It's basically our religion, and so to bring that from Los Angeles to South America, especially Colombia, we're grateful to be able to do that. It's an honor. It's an honor to do what we do. But this lineup's really strong, and we've been doing a lot of concerts leading up to this. So we're going to be like a fine-tuned machine when we get there on Saturday. We just did Baltimore, Maryland before this. We did Texas. We did Seattle, and we did Anaheim, California, here in Southern California. So the band's been playing a lot. So by the time we get there, we'll be in top form.
cool, man. Talking about the situation in Los Angeles and all over the world, we are killing each other for political bullshit, for religious bullshit. You know, you guys been writing about this stuff forever.
Yes, yes.
How it all make sense right now? And I mean that shouldn't be inspiring us, but it does.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the case, but I think we also have to be honest and recognize these things, as people. And it's not just us in Los Angeles, it goes on in South America, it goes on in other countries in Europe. So
Middle East.
I think as humans though, we all need to communicate. We need to talk to each other. We need to make sure we're all right. That's the greatest thing about music is it brings us together. Like that's the problem that all these other countries and governments have is that they don't realize music for some reason knows how to bring people together no matter political beliefs and all this stuff. It's almost like we lay down our weapons when it comes to metal and we get together and we celebrate humanity. And that's the thing about us. Hyrax is all about bringing people together. We've always been that way. It's in our lyrics, it's in our songs, because we truly believe in that. I think anybody that knows the history of the band knows how much we care about humanity. That's really our whole thing is like we care about culture, we care about the history, we care about our ancestors. We all have ancestors and we should all be proud of that. So, right now the music matters, especially here in Los Angeles. I think worldwide,
Yeah.
everybody needs music, but we have a different view of it just because it's so much around us. Especially like you said, if you're watching the news right now, you know what's going on here in Los Angeles, and it's really crazy.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the new album, Faster Than Death. Now it is difficult times for music business, for putting out a record and the record sales and all this stuff. But tell us about the process of making this new album happen and how the fans have received it.
Yeah, it's been great. It was a lot of work, though. I will say that. Like, if you do work hard, it usually pays off. And in this case, yes, it paid off to work so hard on the record. It took a lot. And we had to go through some producers, when we were doing the production side of the record. But we finally found this guy named Max Norman who did the first two Ozzy Osbourne records. He's worked with bands like Loudness and just so many great artists, YNT and Armored Saint, bands like Annihilator. So he really was a professional, and we needed that. And he really did a great job mixing the record. I was familiar with his work because I love the first two Ozzy albums. Like if you know
I love it too.
Diary of a Madman, and if you know Blizzard of Oz, those records are produced great, and he did those. So I was like, if we can get him to do the Hirax record, that's perfect. And so we released the record, and it's been great because it's been able to be done all through the world. So it's available in Brazil, it's available in the United States, obviously South America, Japan, Europe. It's all over Europe. So we were able to put a good package together too, because it's a gatefold record. I've actually got a copy right here. um,
Oh,
so
love
yeah,
it, man.
yeah, and it's a gatefold. It opens up just like a book. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm really proud of this, and the artwork looks really killer. We were lucky because we had an artist from Brazil actually do the cover, a guy named Thomas Pinedo, and it turned out great. So we wanted to also give the fans something that didn't just sound great. It also had to have a killer artwork, and there's a lot to it. There's a poster that comes inside the record, all kinds of stuff. We're actually bringing merchandise to Rock El Parque. A lot of people have been asking us for that too, so we're going to be bringing merch from America with us, and it's going to be great. Like, I mean, for us, like I said, this whole thing is like full circle from when we came back in the mid, I should say, the end of the early 2000s till now. It's been a while, almost 20 years, like you said. So, to come back this way, at this festival, we're playing at a great slot. It's 4:50 in the afternoon, which is perfect. I think the people are going to be ready. Whether it rains or shines, we're going to be there and we're going to play our hearts out. But this new record really has a lot to do with why we're back, because once you put out a new record, it's time to tour, and there'll be more touring after this date, because we actually had people, when they found out we were playing Rock El Parque, they were like, well, why aren't you playing in Chile? Why aren't you playing in Peru? Why aren't you playing in Argentina? It's like, we'll come back after we do Rock El Parque.
Rocket Parque is gonna be nuts, man. I can assure you that it is massive and it is crazy as hell because it's free and all people all over the country came to see the bands live. So it's gonna be great.
That's awesome.
Okay, man. I follow you on Instagram and see your lives, and I have to say that I admire you as a person, as a metalhead. Your passion, your contagious passion for music is something I can relate to very easily. What are you hearing nowadays more often? We are classic guys, right?
Yeah. Well, it's cool because like I've seen it grow. Like, obviously I've been doing it since the early 80s, and it's been over 40 years, but to see it grow and to play these concerts, like when we come back, like even this, almost 20 years since we've been coming to Colombia. So you see people grow up, you see the kids get older, you see kids coming with their own children. Like, think about it. If we were there almost 20 years ago, some of these kids are 20, 21 years old now,
Yeah.
so they'll be coming to the shows with their parents. But that's awesome. When we come through South America, one of the things that we've noticed, it's like families come to the shows, and that's awesome. So it kind of just spreads from generation to generation, and I love that just keeps happening. Hopefully we'll be around another 20 years.
Hopefully, man. I want to thank you for this interview and send a message to all the Hirax fans here in Colombia. invite them to Rock al Parque next Saturday, and tell us what could expect from Hirax Live in Rock al Parque. It would be massive, man.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this, we got some surprises because we've also been working on not just the music, but the production. So the production of the show is going to be top notch. We've been talking to the festival. We're still talking to them, every time we think of some more details because we want all the details to be met. So the show is going to be special. We know what we're, in for. We know that the Colombian audiences are really loud and we love that. Like, it's going to be great to hear them singing again because it's one thing we get to play, but there's a lot of singing to the band in between the songs, and we love that. So to come back, put on a great concert for all of Colombia. We know that there's people coming from other countries as well, though. I mean, obviously
Yep.
it's in Colombia, but we've had messages from people from Peru, from Ecuador, different areas coming to the show. So to have people coming from these other places is also great. We just want everybody to know to be ready. Hirax is coming. Metal in Colombia means a lot to us. We love the support that we get in Colombia. Um, I'm just excited. I don't even know what else to say except for get ready. At Pogota is gonna be Pogota, loud, heavy, fast. We're gonna do it all, and I'm inviting all thrash metal maniacs from all over South America to come and celebrate in this great event at Rock El Parque. We'll see you at 4:50 p.m. in the afternoon. Be ready to thrash. See you in the pit, maniacs.
Let's bring up the chant, man. Hirax, Hirax.
We
Thank
love that.
you again, man, Kaden. It's been a pleasure. It has been an honor for me personally. So see you here in Bogota. Always welcome, man.
All right, we'll see you soon. Much love and respect to mi gente. We love you guys. We'll see you soon. Nos vemos pronto.
Esto fue Metal Live Colombia con Hirax en vivo este sábado en Rock al Parque. No se lo pueden perder. Nos vemos allí en el Parque Simón Bolívar. Esto fue Metal Live Colombia. Nos vemos pronto.